Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the game's players and the big stories shaping sports right now.
I want you to be a part of it too. Please drop your comments, questions, and takes. We'll read them all and bring them into future episodes like today's. Please hit like, subscribe, and join our conversation every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, or wherever you listen. What's happening?
What's happening? Well, is there a draft in here? Oh, wait a minute, not that kind of a draft. I'm talking about the NFL draft. Prime
Oh,
time, prime time television. I think it was on 3 different networks. Unbelievable. That's come a long way in 20 years or so, back when it was like you had to pick up the paper and read what happened.
and it was different last night too because Mel Kiper retired from, his live being on air or something. There was no Mel Kiper. It was a little bit different, but I still loved it. Interesting night. Your alma mater comes to the forefront once again.
Yeah, yeah. Christopher Columbus Catholic High School for Boys in Miami, Florida, getting a lot of pub. Not just during the national championship game where you had the head coach playing a quarterback that both went there, um, but also last night, of course, number 1 pick in the NFL draft by the my beloved Las Vegas Raiders, picking Mendoza number
Vegas.
1. Not a surprise. Everyone knew. I mean, there's always a surprise in the draft, but that was not going to be one of them. I think the Raiders might have found their franchise quarterback. Wow, I'd have to go back to like Gannon, I think. And that wasn't a draft pick, by the way, but the last really good quarterback the Raiders had, not on paper, but on the field. No one knows how Mendoza's going to pan out, obviously, but I think getting Kirk Cousins was a great move to not make that an urgent situation. So, anyways, it played out great. I'm very excited to what a great person. The NFL these days, for a long time, I think sometimes I forget and people overlook the fact that they put as much research and stock into the person as they do the player. And when you can really check the boxes on not just the talent you're getting, but the character you're getting, it's a bonus. And I think Mendoza checks those boxes quite nicely.
Yeah, congratulations to the Raiders. They didn't screw it up.
Yeah, I know. Well, what were you talking about? The Dolphins? Oh, I'm sorry. I heard screwing it up, so I just went right there. But
Yeah.
no, they did what they were supposed to do. Any observations on the draft that caught your attention?
Well, obviously, being a homer, my Miami Dolphins, our Miami Dolphins as well, grew up there, love them till the end. And I think it was a good pick. Caden Proctor can be an all pro by year 2. He's a big man.
He's
And the
big.
Dolphins were set. I mean, I was surprised they traded 11, but then they just picked 12. So they got a couple of draft picks from the Cowboys to make the switch going back 1 pick. They get a monster offensive tackle, and that's exactly what they needed. They've got to protect Malik Willis and open some lanes for Devon Achan, who looks like he's restructuring his contract with the Dolphins. Thank goodness. And it's just the Dolphins could have gotten Caleb Downs. He's a great player, great safety, but they put the emphasis on the O-line, and that takes me back to the early 70s when they dominated. Now they've got a little nucleus to go around Aaron Brewer at center, and they've got Patrick Paul at 1 tackle, and I think he's 6'7". Caden Proctor's just shy of 6'7", so they beefed up. And then at the end of the draft, thanks for asking, I loved them moving up to pick Chris Johnson with the 27th pick instead of waiting until 30. So I thought first round was a solid haul.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think it was terrible. And we'll have to see. How it pans out. It's kind of funny with Proctor. I mean, the knock on him, from them is, he's not that hard of a worker. He's just super big, and so part of the reason he's good is because of his size. We'll see. I mean, even Nick Saban questioned indirectly his work ethic. I basically saying, well, if he works hard, he could be a good one, like that kind of thing. But we'll
If
see. Hey, listen, 9 offensive linemen were taken in the first round. That's the most since 2000. So a lot of teams, either with young quarterbacks or even obviously experienced quarterbacks, really thought protecting them is a priority. And so I'm not a shock to see that many offensive linemen going because there was some good ones in the draft. Unlike quarterbacks, where only 2 were taken, and let's face it, probably should have only been 1. I think no one was more stunned looking with the Ty Simpson pick than Sean McVay. He in every post game interview, he either moves on from the question, or I think in one answer he gave was, blah blah blah. How's he going to fit into your program or whatever? And his comment was, "Hey, well, he's going to have to compete, with our backup quarterback, by name." So kind of weird. I'm not saying Ty Simpson's not a good guy, but there's not a lot of body of work there, and at the end of the season, maybe he was hurt. Word was he was hurt, but he didn't look so great. I think that's a huge gamble or pick for the Rams, who probably have 1 year, maybe 2 left to a window to get a Super Bowl with their current, quarterback situation and all that. And then they pick a quarterback at number 13 who isn't going to play for at least a year, we know. I don't know. Kind of strange.
Yeah, they're putting their chips on Stafford for another year or two, but then try to groom Ty Simpson. Maybe it's Sean McVay just getting into Ty Simpson's head. Maybe.
Um, Maybe. It was interesting that Ty Simpson said he's never met Sean McVay. Still hasn't. Um, so I'll just leave it at this. You've got Stafford for a year, maybe 2. You've got a good nucleus, assuming Nakua gets his act together and everybody's okay. And then you've got the 13th pick, which is a big first round pick. You could have probably instantly improved your defense or even your offense, but you pick a player who's not going to start for probably 2 years and arguably not even really a first round type quarterback. So it's not like we got a one shot to get our franchise quarterback after Stafford retired. It's a head scratcher to me. It really is. But hey, hopefully the GM knows more about it than I do.
Right. And Rams fans are going to come back and argue, hey, we have the luxury where we can groom a quarterback. I can hear Rams fan saying that right now. But, it's like all these draft grades that come out. It's sort of like high school recruits that come out of high schools to the college ranks to play. All these schools or teams get these draft grades, come out with something 1 year after the coaching staff does something with them. That's what I want to see. I want coaching grades to read. It's what you do with your coaches and how they coach up these players. That's why I'm positive about Caden Proctor for the Dolphins. He's going to get in shape in South Florida in that humidity. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He better.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not from Iowa. He's from Alabama. It gets hot there too. We'll see. We'll see if he
Yep.
wants to work hard. Like we said, if he works hard, there's no reason he can't be a dominant offensive lineman. He certainly has the tools and the physical skills. We'll see. The Rams. Listen, the Rams weren't listed as a winner in the draft. Ty Simpson was. So but listen, I think the Giants did a great job. I think the Jets did a great job. I mean, it's hard to screw it up when you have, what do they have, 41 draft picks? But, I think they used them well. I think the Buffalo Bills did a good job. They actually, you know, picked up a few picks by moving around in the draft, and I think optimized their draft stocks. I think they had 9 picks now. So I think that was great moves by them. The Giants getting Malinois and Arvell Reese were great. I think there were some good winners in there. I think some of the losers, I don't know if Sullivan knows what he's doing or not, but it was kind of just, you trade down to get Proctor, and it's just kind of weird. Then you go from 30 to 27 to get Chris Johnson. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You know what? The NFL draft is a crapshoot. It's 50%. No matter all the research, all the combine stuff, all the interviews, it still comes down to a 50-50 proposition on a lot of these players.
Exactly. And one more former Hurricane comes to mind who was probably very happy last night. Quarterback Cam Ward, when the Tennessee Titans selected Carnell Tate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I think that was a really good choice. I think he is the best receiver um, on Ohio State, at least.
yeah,
But yeah, no, that's going to be a good help from him. And I think their running game is, going to be a little bit better this year as well. The Arizona Cardinals, another head scratcher. So here's the weird thing. So you sign Algier as a free agent, and then you re-sign Connor. So that's who you've got in the backfield. Then you
and
use
Trey.
the number 3 pick to get Jeremiah Love. Um, it's kind of strange. I mean, not that Love went that high, although running backs, were typically pushed back in the rounds because, they're not, considered top 10 type picks. But, if you get a game changer, it's worth it. But that was just kind of a head scratcher too.
And I
Um,
and I think the Cardinals have Trey Benson still.
well, you know what? That's probably true too. But I don't know. Maybe an offensive lineman or something would have made a little bit more sense. But hey, listen, the this is the Cardinals were the only the third team in the last 20 years to take a running back in the first 3 picks. So it doesn't happen very often. But I will tell you this. How about this stat? This came across my desk. The last time 2 running backs were taken from the same school in the first round was 2008. Can you name them? Arkansas running backs, Felix Jones and Darren McFadden. So you've got, Love getting drafted along with his Notre Dame teammate, running back, Jadarian Price. So kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Maybe the running backs will come back because I remember the years 20 years ago before that, it always seemed like running back, quarterback, running back, quarterback,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. No, it's, we'll see. Cause if you get if you get a generational running back, it's worth picking them that high. And, by all accounts, Love is supposed to be pretty dang good. So, we'll see what happens there.
love anyone who's viewing. Didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry about that. Anyone viewing your team, the team you love, make a comment. Tell us what you think and how your picks are going to do, and we will bring them up in future shows.
Yep. No, we'd love to hear it. Your comments always help because it
Yeah.
distracts Jim and I from having to talk to each other. So we always appreciate that for sure. Did you notice, or did it have any effect, good or bad, moving the 10-minute window between picks to 8 minutes? Um, don't know.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I
Come
mean,
on.
certainly as a watcher, it seemed to speed things up. I don't know if it affected any last minute maneuvers or trades. Man, if we would have had 2 more minutes, we could have made a deal. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I love the fact that this team's pick is in, this team's pick is in, and they're still letting the kid who's picked 2 picks before that go out and make sure his hat looks right, make
Yeah,
sure his suit looks right, and gets out there and hugs Roger Goodell, who's getting booed. It was thrilling.
I always love. Always love that it's now a tradition. I don't even know if most of the people even know why they're booing Roger Goodell. I mean, I forget what started the original booing. I'm sure it was something, but now it's just he walks out and they boo because I think he likes it. It's kind of funny, really, when you think about it.
Yeah,
Um, and one other thing about this year's draft for me personally, that was a refreshing thing to watch was 3 Miami Hurricanes going in the first round.
Yeah.
I think Ruben Bain and his cohort, two edges going in the first round from the same school. Not sure how often that happens either, but Mesidor and Bain, and of course Mawanoa, the offensive lineman going to the Giants. It does remind me, and think about how far this has come in 4 years. On Mario Cristobal's first year as a Miami Hurricane, that roster he inherited, they also had a player drafted, one, in the 7th round. So
Yeah.
we've gone from a one player drafted in the 7th round 4 years ago to 3 players going in the first round. And, kudos to Mario and, the beloved Hurricanes here. That just goes to show you how that roster is being built. And there's probably going to be 5 or 6 more in the next few rounds, too. So we'll see. I'm interested to see where Carson Beck goes. He's kind of a traditional non-mobile pocket passer, but did pretty well, throwing for people. So I think he'll go maybe in the 2nd round, which would be a little higher than I think most people thought.
Come a long way, Mario Cristobal.
Hey, let me tell you, man.
And one commenter I'll mention now, another one in a little bit when we're talking hockey. Spotify Joe, he's a big Bucs fan, loves the Ruben Bain pick.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Yeah. I think Ruben dropped a couple spots. Could have been his arm length. There was another story that briefly was not really well known, but Ruben Bain was in a car accident, and there was no speeding involved, there was no alcohol, but it was literally a car accident that we've all probably been in one or two. Hopefully, nothing bad. But one of the people in the other vehicle did end up passing away shortly after that accident from the injuries sustained in the accident, and Ruben had to deal with that. That was like last 2 years ago or last year. So he played that whole entire year with that weighing on his head. He's a good person if you've ever seen him or talked to him. So that was weighing on his head. And of course his short arms, which are 3/4 of an inch shorter than, prototype. So you're looking at, that's how much you can drop you in the draft. But despite those things being thrown at him, he still went number 10. I think it was a great pick by the Buccaneers. And obviously he gets to stay in Florida, so he's thrilled.
He's got the motor. He's got the heart.
Hey,
He was
listen, he's got the stats. I mean, his Pro Football Focus grades put him as the best edge rusher in the country, particularly against the run. So numbers don't lie when you can watch it on film. So yeah, listen, he'll have a chance to prove anybody wrong who thought that was going to be a problem.
Yep. You got it.
More to come. We'll have more, obviously there's 6 more rounds to go. So we'll have a lot to talk about on our next show. But in the meantime, there's other stuff going on. Major League Baseball's in full swing. What you got going on in baseball that's of unique interest?
Well, the Atlanta Braves introduced rookie JR Ritchie the other night. He goes up against the Nationals, throws his first pitch, and it goes yard. He's backing up home plate. You know what I mean?
First pitch ever?
Yeah. Big time prospect for the Braves. But what I love about this story, okay, first pitch went yard. He's probably like bummed out. His parents were in the crowd. His dad went like this, like, oh, and his mom just sat there still, like, don't let it affect you. It didn't affect him. He ends up pulling a 7.27, which is a franchise history for the Braves record. What is 7.27, you ask, Joe?
An airplane?
Yeah, good answer.
Thank you.
He's the first pitcher in Braves franchise history to complete at least 7 innings while allowing no more than 2 runs and striking out at least 7 batters in an MLB debut.
Wow.
Could he be the next Maddox?
Glavine? Maddox? Yeah.
Smoltz?
Why not? So his debut gives up a leadoff home run, calms down, and then sets a franchise record for a debut statistically.
Yeah.
And now you're suggesting he might be the next Greg Maddux.
Yeah.
listen, you heard it here first. That's for sure. Because I doubt we're going to hear that anywhere else yet. But hey, I like your boldness. That's good.
Why not? We're not experts.
No, we're not. We prove that every day. No question about that. You
The
know,
last the
yeah.
last
Go
quick
ahead.
mention is the Braves, the only team now through the first 25 games. They're 18-8. They have a plus 50 or better run differential, 30 plus home runs, 200 plus pitching strikeouts, and zero blown saves. What?
Unbelievable.
They were terrible last year. What happened?
I
What's the
know.
difference?
I don't know, but when you were telling the story about the pitcher, and that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, well, he's in a good place because the Braves. I guess it's kind of sneaky. I think it's because they were so bad last year that you just don't assume they're going to be good this year. So it's kind of like they're leading the major leagues right now, uh, and kind of sneaky. They're 10-4 away from Truist Park. They're playing great, man. Yeah, they look out Braves right now.
Yep. The other teams that are hot right now are the Cubs. They've won 9 straight. Yankees have won 6 straight. The A's are still in first place.
Listen, they're tied for first, but they're still in first.
Yep.
One game above 500. This late in the season, with 25 games under their belt. Wow, I'll have to look that one up. But I noticed the Astros are still basement dwelling, so I got that going for me. Uh, Astros 3-10 away from home. Ooh, that's brutal, man. But hey, um, I don't know if the ABS thing is obviously it's here to stay in some form or another. But check this out. I know we don't like to toss around stats and all that because we don't have any scripted analysis. However, I could not help but notice that the walk rate this year is hovering at near 10%. Joe, is that good? Is that bad? Well, that's 16% higher than last year. But do you know the last time it has been at 10% or higher? 1948, 49, and 50. Those 3 years. How long ago was that? 6 years ago, based on my calculation. So the ABS has absolutely affected the way pitchers are pitching. And it looks like, with walks being much higher than usual, I think it goes to show you that the strike zone's probably shrunk a little bit because, remember back in the day, Gladden would start throwing it outside. It'd be about 2 or 3 inches off the plate in the third inning, and you'd have it. The umpire's strike zone would get a little bit farther out, and then all of a sudden, by the eighth inning, it was like a foot outside. I think that's
Good.
what. Yeah, I think that's what's been happening. So, um, but anyways, we'll keep an eye on that and see if that continues to be that high. Obviously, it's early in the season.
Well, 48, 49, and 50, those years. Was CB Bucknor an umpire?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Ah!
maybe it was his dad or something like that. Who knows? And then finally, before we move on from baseball, I'm going to keep my eye on Max Muncy. Who's that, do you say? Well, Max Muncy is playing third base for the Dodgers. Or is Max Muncy playing third base for the A's? Do you know what? Both of those are true. There is literally two Max Muncies playing in the state of California, one for the A's, one for the Dodgers, and both are playing third base. You can't make that up.
And they're
It's
both
unbelievable.
good, and they're
And
not
they're both
related.
good. I
I had
know.
to I had to look it up. Being a Dodger fan, I was like, Max Muncy's son. I even told my wife that can't believe his son's already playing, and Max is 36 years old. They must have had a kid when he was before he was 18 or something. Then I looked it up, and not related. They
Yeah.
just have the
Yeah.
same name,
Not related. No. I mean, maybe eventually. Um,
and they're both
Well, we're
good.
going to keep an eye on all that too. All right, let's talk about the NHL playoffs. We're not going to go through every game. The series are two, 3 games, depending on which one you're looking at. Anything catching your eye right now? I'm sure you're going to talk about the Sabres.
How did you guess?
I don't know.
And we got a new subscriber, Dylan, big time Buffalo fan. He had a great point. He said he loves his Sabres, but they better straighten out the power play because
Yes.
they're like 0 for 13 or 14 in the playoffs, and they're 0 for 39 since the end of the regular season. But they had a nice win last night, 3-1 over the Bruins
On the road,
in the
so,
Garden.
it wasn't because it was home cooking.
Yeah, the power
Um,
play didn't matter.
no, well, listen, I mean, that's a stat that would be, it catches your attention. If you're losing, it would really catch your attention, but when you're winning, hey, only room for improvement at that point.
Yep. And he commented about how hard the Ducks are playing
Yeah,
not the Avalanche.
the Edmonton Oilers, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and how good the Avalanche are. And I said the Avs are looking like they're going to be the Avs.
yeah,
They're up 3-0 now.
yep. Yeah, the Hurricanes are up 3-0.
Yeah,
Colorado's up 3-0. All the other series are tight, either obviously 2-1 or 1-1, depending on, the Golden Knights and the Mammoth and all that. But yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on I think the Sabres are a great story. Poor Boston. You get beat with big leads by the Panthers. Remember a couple of years ago they were up I think they were up 3-0 or something like that and lost. And now you're playing the Sabres. Should have been, check that box. Will we win in 4 or 5 games? But not only are you losing, but the whole country, other than your own fans, are, now taking the Sabres under their arms as their new favorite team, and so the Boston Bruins have become like, the bad guy now. So you just can't catch a break.
and they don't even have Brad Marchand anymore. So
No, Florida has him. It didn't help. It's hard to believe, really. It's hard to believe I'm watching hockey and the Panthers aren't even in the playoffs. Much
yeah,
less going for a third straight. But it's they kept all those players, re-signed a bunch, paid a lot of money to keep a few of them, and they didn't even make the playoffs. So we'll see if that's a 1 year absence or the end of a short era. But we'll see. NBA playoffs, a couple surprises there as well. To be honest with you, being here closer to Atlanta, that's kind of a shocker right now, I think, for a lot of people.
and I'm glad you brought that up first. For our viewers and folks, please Google Stephen A. Smith Knicks meltdown on TV today on First Take.
Yeah.
Credit to Stephen A. and ESPN. Oh my gosh. I told you the last show or a couple shows ago that he's saying if the Knicks don't win it, the coach is going to be gone. He needed a box of tissues, a therapy appointment, or something else, or much more this morning because the Knicks lost their second straight game to the Hawks by 1 point. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Two straight games by only 1 point.
109 to 108. Yeah.
It's not the end of the world for the Knicks.
No, and you could argue that those games were both winnable. They had a last second shot in game 2 that didn't go in, but
Right.
hey, listen, the Hawks. I'll tell you what, they look pretty good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be playing them right now.
Yep. The Cavs got poked yesterday pretty bad. The Raptors had two players, Barnes, and I forget the other guy's name. Two guys pumped in 33 points apiece. And the Raptors they scored 48 points in the fourth quarter, and the Cavs had 28. And it was
Yeah,
just a
and
little over a 20-point win. They just blew them out in the fourth quarter.
yeah, it was a blowout. And check this out. At one point, the Raptors scored on 19 straight possessions, 19 consecutive possessions, not 19 straight points, 19 straight possessions. That's in a playoff game. That's unbelievable. So Cavalier defensive lapse, obviously, right there.
They're turning into the Nuggets defense.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no! Did the
yeah.
Ant-Man come through again? Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Let me tell you that's a little bit of a shocker too, man. The Nuggets aren't maybe the powerhouse they were going into the playoffs as in the past, but they still should be the better team.
And the
Um,
rumors are the Nuggets don't play D. I saw some public comments by the T Wolves. So
they
look
don't.
out.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Their goal is just to outscore you. They don't. I'm not saying they don't practice defense or anything like that, but that's not what that's not their trademark.
Oh, they
Um,
better start playing some defense real quick,
yeah,
or it's going to
I
be
know.
over.
Yeah, well, so do the Rockets. That series might be over quick, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, we'll see. The Spurs Trailblazer, that's now a series. Celtics,
Yeah.
76ers Celtics, man. Hey, I forgot. Maybe I didn't forget, but I didn't remember that, this is the 12th year in a row the Celtics have made the playoffs. So they have, that's a pretty good streak. May not be a shocker but that's not easy in the NBA with, kind of the turnover and everything that's going on.
And you were loving it because just like with the Flyers in the early 70s, you also latched on to the Philadelphia
That's right.
76ers.
That's
And
right.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Sixers upset the Celtics.
Oh, well,
I
no offense,
wouldn't.
but I'm no offense to any Boston fans, but I'm not a
No.
Boston fan, so yeah, it wouldn't hurt my feelings either. Well, listen, we got a lot more to talk about. Next episode, we're going to follow up on the next rounds of the NFL. We're going to keep our eye on baseball as we always do, and we're going to keep an eye on the playoffs in both hockey and the NBA. But for right now, that's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
Please don't forget your comments are a part of the show. We want to hear from you, folks. We'll read them all and bring them into future shows. Please hit like, subscribe, and join us every week right here for free on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram. Thanks, everybody. Thank you,
Sounds
Joe.
great.
Happy
Thank you, buddy.
weekend.
Hey, listen, we'll talk soon, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Love you, buddy.
See you, man.